While there are massive reports on how Black Mirror is turning into reality in China, how dystopia it will be, my Chinese friends were all cool and supportive about it. They said, with frauds and scams everywhere, China's society is kind of screwed now. Faith in humanity needs to be restored, and social credit system might not be a perfect system. It infringes privacy and restricts personal freedom, but is still an instant remedy for China's moral decay. Social credit system is not just about rating its citizens, but there are more aspects such as rating its local governments, its companies, which was often not mentioned by reports. This could be an effective system to tackle corruption and its societal conflicts. Chinese government has always been corrupted throughout history, and after the adoption of economic reforms, petty corruption flourished. Local governments received bribes from businessmen seeking to establish new enterprises. Citizens no longer trust Chinese authorities, and it has now come to a point that corruption challenges the government's legitimacy. Social credit system tries to win citizens' trust by promising to be more transparent about credit information and judicial information as well. Web pages are being set up to inform people about governmental and legal information. The performance of the government and whether they keep their promises to the people will be assessed. For example, if the local government promised to build a housing estate for the people, they have to get it done or else they will score badly for their assessment score. In the past, when 3 construction companies bid for the project, whichever pays more bribe will get it. Company A and the local government will set a very high budget for the house building project, and then defalcate the house building fund provided by the central government. But now, they have to choose the one with higher social credit score but lower construction cost. It will be harder for them to favor a particular company for monetary gains. Currently, participation for the public is voluntary. More than 870 million of citizens and 20 million of businesses have had their credit data recorded in People's Bank of China at the end of 2015. There are 2 key evaluation points in social credit system. First is financial credibility. Second is social credibility. Cities like Suzhou has already implemented a social scoring system. Each citizen will have 100 points to start with. You earn points by being a volunteer, donating to charity, and donating blood. You will lose points by scamming, jaywalking, smoking in non-smoking area, and exceed library due dates. With a higher social credit score, you get discount on public transport, free admission to Suzhou Gardens, and borrow library books without deposit. You can check your scores at Credit Information Center and find out areas of improvement. Since this is a pioneer project, each city might have their own interpretation of the State Council notice. Thus, different cities will differ slightly in scoring system and rules. This score is very important to civil servants as each of them will have a creditworthiness archive, recording the results of annual evaluation, whether they have violated laws, discipline, or contract. It is an important basis for assessment, employment, and rewards. It will affect their chances of being promoted, so they have to put in more effort in keeping on score and behave themselves. Let's move on to financial credibility. Take Sesame Credit for example. Sesame Credit is a private credit scoring system under Chinese Alibaba Group, and it is one of the most widely used credit apps in China. It uses data from Alibaba services to compile its score and classify its users into categories. In order to obtain a high score, you have to pay your electrical bills and loans on time, and have a good transaction record, and have positive interaction with friends with high scores. You are also encouraged to update about your cars, houses that you own, and donate to charity. Most users have a score above 600. With a high score, you can enjoy a range of benefits from other Alibaba businesses. You can check into hotels without paying deposit, get a loan with lower interest rate, and apply visas easier. But if you always cancel your Uber trip, book a restaurant without showing up, took out multiple loans but refuse to pay, you have a low credit score, and you have to pay higher deposits and be difficult to get a house loan next time. Lao Lai is someone who are legally in debt but refuse to pay up. They ignore the court order and don't pay their alimony, compensation for traffic accidents, or wages of their employees. They will have a low credit score and end up in credit blacklist be announced on Supreme Court's website. That is not something they want because their potential business partners are likely to check whether they are trustworthy before working together. There were more than 9 million of people have been onto the blacklist. They will be restricted from buying air and train tickets. Their kids will not be allowed to attend private schools. In some extreme cases, their passports could even be declared invalid to prevent them from running away from debt and never come back to China again. They can remove themselves from it only after they have paid up. This has improved judicial efficiency because people took initiative to obey to legitimate court orders. It's not just judiciary efficiency that it could improve, but maybe judiciary fairness. Let's take jaywalking for example. If he was caught by a police, before the implementation of social credit system, he could settle this by paying $100 bribe to avoid being charged. But now, with facial recognition cameras installed, it will record him down within seconds and reflected on his social credit score. While some may argue the AI is biased, it can potentially discriminate against certain groups of people, but probably not as biased as a bribe-receiving police. Chinese police tends to close one eye on crime committing elderly, ethnic minorities, and high-ranking civil servants. Thus, this could probably set a fairer ground and cut down on corruption as well. To make money the fastest possible way, some Chinese businesses infringe copyright. They produce counterfeit goods. And many cases of food scandals like Sunloop milk powder were exposed. Sewage was collected and recycled into cooking oil. And recently, America's ban on ZTE is a reflection on loose business ethics in Chinese companies. Social credit systems aim to tackle such problems by requesting business companies to work with companies with high social credit score. They have to do thorough background check on the partner companies and submit the details of the supply chain to the government, or else their credit score may be jeopardized. This will develop a strict quality standards within the business chain, and the government will be able to track down each and every supply chain, removing all related products where a scandal was found. And that's why people freak out about this system. It's not just business chain that it can track down, but everything. It can track down all your social circles, who are your friends on Sesame app, how close you are, and all their friends too, since you have voluntarily updated about your cars and houses. Anyone who can access to this information might abuse this. Privacy is one issue, but the main reason why social credit system seems like a horrible idea is when dictatorship come into play. Do you really trust the government who's watching you? They know where you stay, where you've been to, and where you are with the help of technologies. It is effective when used for crime solving and terrorism prevention, but is a way too much control. Social credit system pushes for internet credibility. It plans to gradually have all its internet users to register their real names and identity for their accounts, or else they won't be able to post comments online or use certain functions. It claimed that this is to halt the spread of rumors. Everyone will be held responsible for what they've said. But what if the people commented something against the government? This seems like what is going to happen. How transparent is the scoring system? Will you be able to check the reason for point deduction? And is there any channel that you can appeal for review? Lack of transparency and tightening of governmental control is the reason for negative news report on social credit system. And with the removal of constitutional two-term limit for presidency, Xi Jinping is strengthening his grip on power and control over the whole China. It seems like China is moving away from Confucianism and towards legalism. It is enforcing strong state control and absolute obedience to authority. just like China's first dynasty, Qing dynasty. The legalists advocated government by a system of laws that rigidly prescribe punishment and rewards for specific behaviors. It is exactly what social credit system is doing. This might be the solution to China's trust crisis. It certainly stirs a fear in Chinese citizens, as their freedom will be restricted. But most Chinese are not concerned with this, because they don't feel themselves breaking the trust. But since we can do nothing in retaliation, and social credit system is indeed effective in dealing with many persistent problems in China, all we can do is believe that Xi is a visionary leader and he aims to do good for China, and so will his successor and successors.